Yeah.
Why is the Torah written in the third person?
You asked me that, and I sent you an email all about it.
I didn't see it.
Okay, I'll have to send it again. It's a good question because the rabbis ask the same question.
Because some of the Chabad people say that if it's God's word, and this is exactly His words, His speaking, then
It's considered to be Moses' book. So Moses is writing about God. So that's why it's in
we
the
are
third
marked.
person.
It was just I go through the Chumash. I go through I look at the stuff periodically, and these things just kind of
Yeah, they promote questions, don't
yeah.
they?
And so I just enough background to know to question. That's all. Even in my old age.
They're good questions. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Shabbat shalom.
Did you read the article about Hamakom in yesterday's
I
Times?
did. Oh, couldn't miss it. How are you?
Okay, how are you?
You're muted according to this, Bonnie.
Yeah, what's wrong?
Well, but we both had COVID.
Oh, that's right. Wow.
No, I had a severe reaction from COVID,
Oh,
covered with welts.
oh my.
Well, I just got a chance to glance at it last night. Someone brought it that I could.
I was on
They told the other half of the story.
for a while.
Yeah. Terrible situation.
It is.
Antihistamines at nighttime.
Very instructive.
All about
Forgiveness and passion and
And that was
emotion.
the reaction from the COVID?
Obviously,
all
I
over.
heard him and I did send him a picture of a beautiful wife. And then actually, I'm going to have to check that 38.
well, I have the picture, but I didn't get
Yeah,
a
I know, I
chance
was
to
like,
think
if you
about
wanted me
it.
to write.
Well, that's okay, I would do it next time, but I had this problem with my computer, so that the Shir notes.
Right. Right.
So when
Do you guys want to sit together?
No, he's got you.
Oh,
when I had to go to urgent care and found out what it was coming from.
wow.
So fun.
The only thing is when you take a lot of steroids, your body balloons, your body builds up like a balloon.
Yeah, yeah.
I can transfer you.
Yes.
I mean,
But how long ago was that eclipse? It's just no picture, right?
no, I just took a last one.
Of the eclipse? You took a picture of an eclipse?
On the TV, they were talking about
The eclipse hasn't happened
He
yet.
had
So it must be an
it.
old picture. But still,
But
there
every
to be a mug and David.
I don't know what this eclipse is telling us, but they showed us that this is coming. And then when I go over to Bush, I go, stop it. I go, put it back.
Jewish cosmos.
It was insane. It was
This
insane.
make me.
I'm into a co-host.
Oh, okay. So.
So this is a check. Testing 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. One minute to launch.
Crackle.
Okay. Do you need more? Does he need more? If you want more, I have it.
No, thank you. He said, don't make crackling noises.
Oh. Solar Quick Springs
Do you think your friends would like it for Monday night?
No.
Probably
There
not.
wasn't a date on it, because I looked too.
Well, it was just.
I know,
Yeah.
but the eclipse hasn't happened yet. It's happening on Monday. So
They're
that
just
has to be an
showing
old picture.
Yeah, but I mean,
Well, I was going to Vermont, driving up and
freaking
staying in
Jewish
Jewish
town.
It's
It's a Jewish town. I mean,
Nepal.
so that's why I thought,
See where your mind is. See?
I know, but you know me, everything I see is Jewish church, whenever I see anything. But I was like,
She found a Jewish star in a picture of an eclipse. The bit of sun shining through made a Jewish star.
Well, let us begin our service. If you have not yet put on your talit, please rise, and we will put our talit on together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Asher Kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehit atef b'tzitzi. And please be seated, and our service begins on the bottom of page 14. Hashamayim, Yisrael Hashamayim, Yisrael Hashamayim, V'tagel ha'aretz. Yeram hayam, Yeram hayam, Yeram hayam, V'lo, Yeram hayam, Yeram hayam, Yeram hayam, V'lo. Hoshea et Amecha, Barech et Naflatecha, Urei, 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 Menaseh, Mad Ha'olam. Hoshea et Amecha, Barech et Naflatecha, Urei, 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 Menaseh, Mad Ha'olam. Shir Yom HaShabbat, Mizmor Shir. 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 Shir Yom HaShabbat. Katamar Yifrach, Katamar Yifrach, Katamar Yifrach, Katamar Yifrach, Yeres Valman on Yisket, 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 Yeres Valman on Yisket. Mikolot Mayim, Mayim Rabim Hakirim, Mishmereyah, Adir B'marom Adonai. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hallelujah, Lake Trua. Go and Shama, de hallelujah, hallelujah. Go and Shama, de hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. La 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 la. La 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 la.
Get up.
Baruch Adonai,
What happened? Look, you didn't get the bath yet. Drink some water first. You gotta drink some water. There he is with the straw.
Seated.
Yes. Would you like it? I'm gonna give you. I have another one, an empty one.
שבחורך, אבינו מלכנו. ותלדנו בחיים, לפנינו למדנו, אבינו הרחמן, המרחם רחם עלינו. יתנו להם, ואבינו להשכיל לשמוע, עלינו ללמד, ולשמור את הסוד. כל קיימת כל דברי, תלמוד תורתך ויאהבה, והבק ליבנו במצוותיך, ויחד לבבנו, ויעבור ולחי שלך, אלוהים לעולם ועד, לא נמות לעולם ועד. ראשך הגדול והנורא אנחנו נגילה ונשמחה, נגילה ונשמחה ישועתך. Gather on CC together if we are wearing a talit. V'havienu l'shalom v'yarbakim fota'aras v'tolichenu kumimut v'yatenu ki el Yeshuot ata v'vanu v'charta mikulam v'lashon v'kerftanu l'shimcha gados ela be'emet v'hodot lecha li'achetcha b'yahava baruch ata Adonai v'bocher b'yamo Yisrael b'ahava Shema ואהבת את אדוני בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך ושיננת לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך ובביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשבתך ובקומך ובשרתם לגרות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בעיניך ובכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. 18. The Lord said to Moses, speak to the children of Israel and bid them to make tzitzit in the corners of their garments throughout their generations, putting upon the tzitzit of each corner of red and blue. When you look upon the tzitzit, you will be reminded of all the commandments of the Lord and obey them. You will not be led astray by the inclination of your heart or by the attraction of your eyes. Thus will you be reminded to fulfill all my commandments and be consecrated to your God. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I, the Lord, am your God. Azot, Azot, Shivchu Ahuvim, Shivchu Ahuvim. Veromimu, 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 Venatenu, Venatenu, Yedidim, Venatenu, Venatenu, Roshirut V'Tishbachot V'Erachot V'Hodaot L'Melech El Chai V'Kayam Ram Ben Yisrael Gadol V'Norah Mashpil Gein Alim Motzi Asir Mufode Anavim Zedalim Yon Eliam Ovion Eliam Ovie Shabam Elam Tehilo le'el Elyon Baruch Mubarach Moshe B'nei Yisrael Alech Anu Shira B'Simcha Rabba V'Yamru Chulam Mi Chamocha V'Elim Adonai Mi Chamocha Neger B'Kodesh Torah Tehila Osei Shira Chadasha Shivachu Geulim L'Shimcha Tzvat Hayam Yachad Kulam Hotuvim Lichu V'Yamaru We pause before we're expressing our thanks privately. We'll express thanks publicly, and we begin that with the acknowledgement of birthdays for this month. I'm going to mention all the names because some people may be online. I don't know that any of these people are here in the room, but celebrating birthdays this month are Sylvie Hockmeyer, Joan Easley, Lee Dollins, Carol Altschiller, Jerry Zatz, Pat Michelson, Ed Orens, Marcy Spetner, and Ellie Zatz. So we're happy birthday to them since we're not sure where they are. You have to be in the room to get the singing of the. Well, let's open it up to what you're thankful for. Who would like to begin? What are you thankful for, Mo?
It's my birthday next week.
Happy birthday, Mo.
You'll have to come next week. You have to come next
Someone
week.
in the room.
So why isn't your name here? Okay. Well, let's wish Mo a happy birthday. Yom Haledet Sameach. Yom Haledet Sameach. Yom Haledet Sameach. Yom Haledet Sameach. Honey.
Well, I'm delighted to see Charlene and Debbie and Jean. Welcome. Nice to have you.
Yes, it's good to see all of you.
Everybody.
Very nice. Thank you. Nancy.
I'm happy to say we survived round 2 of COVID. I managed to just get through it, but my husband, who can get any weird side effect possible for anything, broke out in welts all over his body, which ended up with a couple of visits to urgent care, and he's flying on steroids at the moment.
Wow. Yeah, Refuah Shlema. Okay. Who else would like to share?
Yeah, I'm
Well,
grateful that after a delay, my second cataract surgery was done last Monday, and let's see.
The world becomes brighter. Doesn't it? Thank you. Good to have your sight back. Who else would like to share what you're thankful for? Mo.
I'm thankful my wife got through shoulder replacement successfully. And now I have to wait on her all the time.
Thank you. Who else would like to share what you were thankful for? Davida.
Well, I'm thankful that everything I see everything Jewish. And last night before Shabbat, they put a solar eclipse that brings tourism. They're talking about and I saw it, and I said to my husband, "Wait, back that up." And I had to take pictures, and I'll pass my phone. But it's a Jewish star. It's a Jewish star, and you can pass around and see. It blew my mind, and so I just said that. Bruce goes, "Well, yeah, now we're the chosen ones," and so that was really funny. So I just thought it was just insane. But and then also I'm going to see my sister. I'm leaving right from here. I was going to leave in the morning. I said no, I want to see everything. And now just to get to see you, that's a machaya. So so I'm going to leave and see Sybil, and I always give regards from everyone. And that she's still, but she's still there. So anyway,
And she's there.
yeah. Oh yeah. Hi, Sybil. But she doesn't because she's not putting her picture on because she's in the nursing facility, and I don't have to explain that. All good.
Who's like to show you we're thankful for? Debbie.
I'm very thankful for you guys today. It's been such a long time. It's so good to see all of
you, and so thankful to be able to bring my mom with me, and all my boys and their respective significant others or wives, and my grandchildren. Thank God are healthy. Jacob and his family had the kids brought home hand, foot, and mouth disease from daycare, and then Jacob got it, and he said it was the worst thing he's ever experienced in his life. But thankfully they're all well, and so anyway, I just have so much to be thankful for, and thank you to Jean for helping out and coming down today.
Thank you. By the way, I'm thankful that Debbie goes out of her way to go to retirement homes and other facilities where they need somebody to conduct Shabbat services. And she conducts Shabbat services there. So it's wonderful that she has.
You taught me.
Yeah, Debbie grew up at Temple Beth Ami, and she learned from the best of them. It's wonderful to see it being passed on that way.
Thank you for helping me.
Oh, you're welcome. Who else would like to share what you were thankful for? Jordan.
Yesterday, I had a rather interesting conversation with Jay Berkowitz, who you may not know who he is. His father was Martin Berkowitz, who wrote the Haggadah for the American Family, the so-called the Lipton tea Haggadah. And because what Jay does now is he sells them when they used to give them away for free. And so it had to do with the issue with my order. But it was interesting to talk to him about his father and the development of the about 60 years, more than 60 years ago, of that Haggadah, which we had used in our family for years and years, except that my grandfather thought of it as just a starting off point for the Seder, so that it could, Seder could last 40 years, remind us of Zecher L'Tzias Mitzrayim. So, but it was an interesting conversation.
Very nice. Thank you. Who would like to share what you are thankful for? Dan Schroeder. Oh, there's somebody online. Thank you. Who raised your hand online? Anybody online would like to share? No? Okay. But Stan, please.
I even have a stand here. Reminds me of my days of playing an instrument and using a music stand. Long time ago. Want to be clear how important it is for me to be here, how much it adds to my life, and to see Charlene and her family, of course, adds even more. We think of you often. Well, most of you know that 10 days ago, Joe Lieberman died, and most of you know, at least briefly, that he was a candidate for vice president on the presidential ticket, and later on attempted his candidacy even for presidency. He was a Orthodox observant Jew, and someone that could be admired really on both sides of the aisle, which is even more difficult in today's world. So I'm going to speak a bit about Joe Lieberman. I actually did a Zoom program last Thursday night that included a number of videos that people talking about him, and I'm going to be sending out an email that includes some of that and some other things. In the Friday pardon me, Wall Street Journal, there's always a editorial that's on religion of one kind or another. And this last Friday, Rabbi Meir Soloveitchik, many of you know that I've shown his stuff and big admirer and learner from him. So he wrote this editorial, and it's called The Setting of the Sundown Kid. Joe Lieberman kept the Sabbath holy and won admirers across sectarian lines. It's more than I'm going to be able to read. I'm going to read the beginning and the end of it. But Joe Lieberman wrote a book on Shabbat and what it meant to be an observant Jew or observant really of any religion and what keeping the Sabbath meant in a call it a secular world. So this is the beginning of that article that he wrote. The Connecticut Senate found a solution to its budget stalemate on Friday evening in 1971. But the crucial vote, 27-year-old Joseph Lieberman had gone home to celebrate the Sabbath. But as Majority Leader Ed Caldwell's direction, the chamber delayed the vote, observing the day of rest, and passed the budget Saturday night. The next day's Bridgeport Post carried the pithy headline, Butch Caldwell and the Sundown Kid. Lieberman, who died last week at 82, recounted his story in his 2011 book, The Gift of Rest, Rediscovering the Beauty of Shabbat. For me, he wrote, Sabbath observance is one of the greatest gifts of my life. Jewish law prohibits the use of electronic devices, as well as traveling by car on the Sabbath. Every Friday before sunset, his wife Hadassah would kindle candles so that, quote, the older, gentler, and timeless light replaced the, quote, the modern, sharp, and artificial light of computer, television, and the BlackBerry screen. So he talks in this article more about what Lieberman wrote and believed. But in closing, he says, one of the most amusing anecdotes Lieberman told me concerned a trip to Bosnia with his friend, Senator John McCain. As McCain slept, Lieberman rose to recite the morning prayers, donning traditional Jewish attire, the phylacteries known as tefillin, and prayer shawl. When McCain awoke, his eyes widened at the oddly attired man beside him. Where am I going? What's going on? Johnny, Lieberman said, I'm just saying my morning prayers. Oh, good, for a moment, Joey. I thought I died and gone to heaven. Well, Lieberman impulsively replied, that says a lot about what kind of person you are, my friend. You think that when you go to heaven, you're going to see a lot of Jews praying. Jews see the weekly day of rest as a foretaste of the eternal life to come, devoid of daily acrimony, partisanship, ambitions. Lieberman experienced that gift every week and sought in good faith and generosity to share its meaning with others. As people of faith, Jews and Gentiles bid farewell to the sundown kid. We can draw consolation from the image of his experience, the ultimate Sabbath that awaits. So we are here on Shabbat. We remember, may his memory be a blessing. Thank you.
Thank you. And Joe Lieberman came within a whisker of becoming the vice president. Can you imagine a vice president that kept Shabbat and kept kashrut and all the holidays? Here, this is. So let us all rise as we continue with our own private prayers of thankfulness on the bottom of page 18. Sur Yisrael, Kumar Ezra Yisrael, Ufedei Chinumeha, Yehuda Yisrael. Na'asot Shemo, Yegros Yisrael, Baruch Yisrael. We can be quiet.
We have a guitar. We're all up now.
Sing Shalom, Torah, V'racha, Chen v'chesed, Chesed v'rachamim, Aleinu li'alkol, Aleinu v'yakol, Aleinu v'yakol Yisrael Alecha. Sim shalom v'bracha, Einu v'chesed v'rachamim. Sim shalom v'bracha, Einu v'chesed v'rachamim. Aleinu v'yakol Yisrael Alecha. Aleinu v'yakol Yisrael Alecha. Sim shalom davar u'bracha. Ein v'chesed v'rachamim. Oseh shalom, shalom, shalom. Mibromachuya aseh shalom. Aleinu oseh shalom, shalom, shalom. Mibromachuya aseh shalom. Aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'yireru. Amen. Please be seated. Yitgadal v'yitgadal shmei Rabba. Mani brachi v'teva mechma v'teva chayi chod v'yomei chod v'chayi v'chol beit Yisrael. V'agalav yizman karivim aru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabba v'vora. V'yolam v'yomei mayam. Yitzhara. Rafi Shabbat Kaporan, remind me to say the Tadar, we live in the Lashon Medi Kurdistan. Ulei La Mikol B'Chatat Shorata, Tush B'Chatav Nechmata, Dami Ram Yomavi Yemiru. Amen. Titkabel, Salot Hon Devot Hon Cho Yisrael. Hadam Abahon Vishmai V'Yemiru. Amen. Yesh Lamarav Mitzmai V'Chim Aleinu V'Kol Yisrael V'Yemiru. Amen. Oseh Shalom B'Mromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom. Aleinu v'yakol Yisrael v'yimeru. Amen. We've come to the Torah service. We'll be carrying the Torah through the congregation. Luke, thank you. Who would like the honor of Hagbah, picking up the Torah? Mo. And the Galila, wrapping the Torah. Who would like to do that? Sheila. And we continue our service on page 19. Ein kamocha ba'Elohim Adonai, v'ein k'ma'asecha, malchutecha malchut ka'amim, u'menshatecha b'chol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai oz li'amo yiteh, Adonai Yehovah shalom, Avarachamim, Eitim v'socha, Le'tzion, Tivnei chomot Yerushalayim, Tivnei chomot Yerushalayim, Kivecha lebanotanu, Melech Elohim Yisrael, Adonai. So Aaron vayomer Moshe, Kuma Adonai, v'yafutzu oidecha, v'yavusu misanecha, v'panecha, ki mitzion tetzei Torah, ki mitzion tetzei Torah. Yerushalayim, Baruch Shematan Torah, Torah. Baruch Shematan Torah, Torah. Ne'amo Yisrael,
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonai, Kadosh Shemo.
Adonai iti, ulerov mama Shemo yachdav.
Hagedula v'hagedula v'hatiferet v'haneitzach v'hahod ki kol v'shamayim u'ba'aretz ki kol v'shamayim u'ba'aretz Lecha Adonai hamamlacha v'hamiknaseh lechol Metzion teisei Torah, Metzion teisei Torah, Metzion, Metzion, Metzion teisei Torah, Metzion teisei Torah, Metzion teisei Torah, Metzion, Metzion, Metzion. The Torah portion is Shmini, which we'll talk a little bit about in a moment, but first we will have our communal aliyah. And so please point with your talit or your pinky if you're not wearing a talit right here. And we can repeat the line twice. Baruch hu et Adonai Haborah, Baruch Adonai Haborah le'olam va'ed, Baruch Adonai Haborah le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et torato, Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Vayehi bayom hashmini kara Moshe le'Aharon uvanav uziknei Yisrael. Vayomer el Aharon kach lecha Egel ben bakar lechata ve'ayel le'olam tamimim ve'hagrei lifnei Adonai ve'el b'nei Yisrael teraber lemor kichu shiri izim lechatat ve'egel v'cheves b'nei shana tamimim le'olam.
Kiss again. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah temet, v'chayei olam natan b'tavenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Yes, your God. May be seated. So why don't Christians keep kosher? That's what the Torah portion is about the laws of kashrut, dietary laws. And probably, now remember that Jesus said in the Christian Bible, I will not change a jot or a tittle. And his intent was not to create a religion that would be in violation of any of the laws of Judaism. But Christians don't keep kosher. And maybe part of it is because of something that Jesus actually said. In the book of Matthew, he said, not that which goes into the mouth defiles a man, but that which comes out of the mouth, this defiles the man. So he said that we should not be concerned with what goes into our mouth, but what comes out of our mouth, which I guess makes a lot of sense. I remember the story, the truthful story that they tell about the observant, wealthy Jew in New York who owned a number of old age homes, and it seems that he was arrested because of the terrible conditions in which he maintained these homes. That he put very little money into caring for the people who were in those homes, and they ended up with terrible bed sores because they were not being cared for. They were all malnourished, and he ended up going on trial, and he was found guilty. And the judge said, you have to spend this number of years in jail because of what you did, this wealthy, observant Jew. And so what did the Jew say? He said, Judge, can at least I keep kosher.
Yeah.
That was more important to him than the way he treated other people. So when Jesus said, it's what we say, not what goes in, that is important, then that's why it kind of rings true, unless we understand that the point of keeping kosher is to remind ourselves that we are Jewish. But it's not enough to take something that we do so often during a day and use that as a vehicle to remind ourselves of our Jewishness, but that's got to trigger something else inside of us. And what it should trigger in us when we remember that we're Jewish is what the purpose of the laws of kashrut is, as we read in today's Torah portion. Namely, for I am the Lord your God, sanctify yourselves and be holy, for I am holy. The point of the laws of kashrut is to achieve a level of holiness. So the question is, how do we take the act of eating and sanctify ourselves, make this a holy act? Or in other words, how do we make Kodesh moments out of the act of keeping kosher? So I'm going to suggest a number of ways that we can do this. The first thing when we keep kosher is that we begin the meal with a prayer. And when we say that prayer, it gives recognition to the fact that a quarter of the world goes to bed starving every night, and we should be thankful that we have a meal in front of us. That the difference between a human and an animal is that an animal does not pause before eating to be grateful. A Jew, a person, has the opportunity and the ability to do that. I see, by the way, a lot more Christians doing that than I see Jews doing that, right? Have you ever been to a restaurant and they're all holding hands and they're saying a prayer? You don't see a lot of Jews pausing before they eat, but that is part of the laws of kashrut. of making this act a holy act. The second thing is that when we are eating, we have to be concerned about those at the table. And when I say that, it means that we have to be concerned with how's everybody doing? What's going on in your life? Can I be of any help? And also to be concerned about the people who prepared the meal and served the meal, and be thankful for all of the steps that are involved in a meal finally getting before us and are having the satisfaction of eating it. The third thing is that we want not only to be thankful, and we want to be thankful for the people who join us and prepare the meal and be concerned about them, but also to be concerned for the people who are not at the meal with us. We're going to be celebrating Pesach soon, and you know that in the Halach Ma'anya, there is a line right near the beginning of the service where in the Seder, we're actually supposed to open the doors and go outside. And we're supposed to say, Kol Dechvin Yetei V'Yechol. Everybody who is hungry, come and eat. Everybody who is in need, come and join us at our Seder. So what's the difference between needy and hungry? When you're hungry, you need food. And so we have to be concerned with those people who are hungry, and we need to be able to make sure that we provide for them. Right outside our window, as I've told you a number of times, our front window is a church where they serve for food to the people who are needy, who are hungry. This is the West Valley food pantry. So one of the West Valley food pantries is at the church across the street, and so every morning, beginning at 8 o'clock or so, cars begin to line up because this is mostly for people who are living in their cars or so destitute that at least they have a car that shelters them, but long lines on some days as they filter through and they get boxes of food. And then, by the way, it's wonderful to see the people who are serving them the food and how gentle they are with them and how solicitous and how careful they are, not to make them feel bad that they're in this destitute position where they have to get a box of food from a pantry, but they are treated with menschlichkeit, with goodness. So we have to be concerned with the people who need food and to provide for them. And that's why we have sova barrels that we're able to every now and then put some food in. But we also have to be concerned with not just those who are hungry, but those who are needy. So who are the people who are needy? People who need a community. People who need people to know that they exist. People who show concern for each other. People who are going to get on the phone and say, we haven't seen you in a while. How are you? Or I know that you just had this procedure. Everything okay? So this is part of the process of not only being concerned with the hungry, but being concerned with the needy. That's all part of the laws of kashrut. And then the next thing that we want to do is that when we're at the table and we have this food in front of us and we are eating the food, that we don't say anything that's going to cause distress or dissension or embarrass other people. And that's why this is probably not a good year to talk politics around the dinner table, right? But we want to make sure that the first thing that we don't say to a teenager who comes to the table is so you have any homework tonight? Or why didn't you do so well on your last exam? I remember I was at a restaurant, and I was passing by a table where I saw some members of the congregation with their little kid, and I went over there and I said hi, and they said hi, and then the mother turned to the little kid and said, "If you don't eat your peas, the rabbi's going to be very upset with you." Don't do that. So we have to be careful about the things that we say around the table that is going to cause people to lose their appetite. That's all part of the laws of kashrut. And then when you come to the table, bring just yourself to the table. Don't bring your cell phone. Don't bring your smartphone. Don't turn on the TV. Bring yourself, everything about you, to the table and not find things that are distracting. I like the idea of people who, when they come to the table at restaurants, they have a deal that everybody's going to take their cell phone and they're going to put it on the table. And whoever is the first person to reach for the cell phone, they've got to pay the bill, for the meal. So we've got to make sure that we are wholly present when we are at the table. And then the last thing that I want to share with you is what we do when we keep kosher how we elevate the meal experience, how we make it truly holy, is to elevate the conversation. Don't say things that don't elevate people's knowledge or the experience of being together, where you discuss maybe the Torah portion of the week or something that you've been reading, or something that is going to elevate that conversation. So all of these are part and parcel of what it means to keep kosher. It's not just the things that we put in our body, but it's also the things that we then say. But we need the experience of eating kosher. There was a friend of mine who used to teach at Eula, and he went to all of the rabbis at Yeshiva University of Los Angeles. That's a high school, even though it's got the name university. I could never understand why that was. But he would go to all of the teachers there and the rabbis, and he would say, if it was discovered that God didn't write the Torah, but it was written by people, would you still keep kosher? And all of them said, no. Am I crazy? Why would I subject myself to these laws of kashrut? If he went to me, I would say, of course I would still keep kosher. Because of all of these things that I just shared with you. Because the laws of kashrut, when they remind me that I'm Jewish, then compel me to make of the eating process something more than just sustaining myself. So there's an old expression, we are what we eat. The Jewish expression should be, we are how we eat. So as we pile on the food, let's also pile on the Kodesh moment. Let us now do a Misha Bera for those who are not well. So if you have a list of names, I'll ask you to, in that, be prepared to share them. Misha Bera, Chavotenu, Rahamisak, Yaakov, Yimotenu, Sarkar, Chavalea. I just wrote the last line of my speech. So I'm going to share it again with you later. May he who, Misha Bera, may he will, bless our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rachel, Rebecca, and Sarah, bless and heal these who are sick. So please share the names. Raise your hand if you have any names of people who are not well. If you have other names, raise your hand.
Jacob Ferris from Shoshana, Anya Bakunda, Shannon Malkaba from the South.
Thank you. Thanks, Bob.
Bob Roach, Bob Nelson, Bruce Cabala, Rita Murphy, Robert Feld, Carolyn Birch, and Beverly Bishop.
Thank you. Other names, Claire.
Phyllis, Jill, Jerry, Michelle. Everybody's here. Michelle Loomis, Leslie Stein, Solomon, Charlie Matlin, Wendy Smith, Siegel.
Thank you. Paula and Chuck Richmond.
Phyllis, Jerry Gord, and a woman that I met last night at the dinner, and she told me she just had found out she had cancer. So her name is Karen, and so I would like to include her.
Thank you. Barbara Sands and Elise Crystal.
Judy Kaplan.
Nadav Sella, Pearl Bach Yehuda, Jane Apson, Nancy Arkin, Fran Winters, Barbara Gerboff, Maureen Krantz, Bonnie Ritter, Bob and Linda Sharp, Annette Goodfriend, Jody Epstein, Linda Wood, Lorna Hershey, Geller, Rebecca Farber.
Other names.
Linda Icicle, Rachel Icicle, Eileen Watson, and Beth Brown.
Thank you, Nancy.
Bernie Halpern, Neil Epstein, Murray and Sandy Hyman, Marty Sharp, and Money Sharp.
Thank you. Online, please raise your hand and I will call on you. Ray?
Suzanne Mattioli, Janetta Wazana, Phil Cooperman, Hillary Robe, and Phyllis Niggery.
Thank you. Others online? Okay, anybody else that we might have neglected in the room? Kodesh Baruch Hu yishlach lem b'mehera refuat hanefesh v'refuat haguf v'toshach le'Yisrael v'nomar amen. May the Almighty restore these people to full health and to full vigor, along with all others who are struggling with illness, and let us say amen. We're going to return the Torah to the ark, so But first, we are going to acknowledge both prayers for America and for Israel. For America, may God bless the United States of America and protect her. Our concern as we now turn our thoughts to Israel is we passed the 6-month mark of hostages, and we continue to pray and to hope for the return of these people who are captives and have them restored and returned to their country and to their home. And so our thoughts are always with them and with peace in the Middle East. And we thank Stan for sharing this about what goes on in Israel to remind us how much Israel and its people provide to the rest of the world. Israeli researchers have reached bone metastasis breakthroughs for breast cancer patients. Tel Aviv University researchers have developed a new therapeutic strategy based on existing medications to inhibit bone metastasis in breast cancer patients. When a patient has this malignancy and it isn't stopped from spreading, most often, in 75% of the cases, it spreads to the bone, destroying its tissues and causing fractures and a great deal of pain. Using both an animal model and tissue samples from patients in Israel and the US, the researchers showed that a combination of drugs already available on the market can hinder bone metastasis and improve survival. Based on their findings, they predict that in the future, the treatment will be applied to human patients with breast cancer as well as other types of cancer. In this groundbreaking study, the researchers looked for a novel way to inhibit the progression of bone metastasis. So let us now have the Hagba and Galila come forward as we all rise and we join together in the prayer for the state of Israel. Avinu Shabashamayim, Sur Yisrael v'Goalo, Barechet Medinat Yisrael, Reshit Tzimchat Geulaten. V'zot HaTorah Asher Sa Moshe L'nei Bnei Yisrael V'Yisrael Moshe Yisrael Ve'oraitachalu Yisrael Ve'oraitachalu Torah, hallelujah. Torah, hallelujah. Torah, hallelujah. Torah, hallelujah. Darchei Noam v'chol Neshivoteva Shalom Ashkileinu We remain standing for Musaf, page 21. Yitgadal, Yitgadal, Shemei Rabba, Yimhadirachi Ute, Yimchmachu Ute, Bechon, Mechon, Uchaye, Lecho, Beit Yisrael, Vagala, Ubisman Pari, Miru, Amen. Yesh Mei Rabba Mevorah, Le'olam Le'olam Le'omaya, Yitzhak Yitbarach, Vishtavach, Yitbarach, Tuma Vidase, Vitadar, Vitale, Vitala, Shemedi Kudusha, Leila, Mikorachata, Vishirata, Shurata, Venehilata, Damiram, Vienna. Let's take 3 small steps back and then 3 steps forward. Put our heels together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarai Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor HaNorah El Elyon Goel Hasadim Tovim Mekonei Yaakov Zocher Hasdei Aaron Umevi Kohen Livnei Leman Shemo V'Yahava Melech Ozeru Mashiach Baruch atah Adonai Magid Avraham Atah Gibor Adonai V'chayei Mitzvata V'Hoshia Shivaruach U'Yikach Mechakel Chaim B'Chesed Mechayei Metim B'Rachamim Rabim Somech Noflim V'Rofei Cholim U'Matir Asurim U'Mekayem Emunato V'Shenei Afar Mechamocha B'Gevurot U'Midom Elah Melech Me'midu Mechayei U'Matzmiach Yeshua Ne'eman atah l'chayei Baruch atah Adonai Mechayei Hametim Na'arizcha V'na'kedishcha K'sof Tzila Kodesh HaMa'kedishim Shimcha V'Kodesh K'Katub Hayad Yeviecha V'Kar Zel V'Yamar Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh Adonai Tzebaot Melech Haaretz K'vodato K'vodato Malei Malei Olam V'sharta Shoalim Shorim Zel Aye Mekom Mekom K'vodato Aye Mekom Mekom K'vodato Limatam Baruch Yameru Baruch K'vod Adonai Mikomo Mikomo Hu Yifed Berachamim V'yachonam Ha'yachadim Shemo Erev Aboker B'chol Yom Tamid B'mayei Shema Omrim Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Eloheinu Avinu Makeinu Avinu Makeinu Moshiach Ve'hu Yashmienu B'Rachamav Sheni Le'enei Kol Chai Ve'hu Yashmienu B'Rachamav Sheni Le'enei Kol Chai Yolachem Elohim Uvdivrei Kodesh Katuv Le'mor Yolachem Elohim Elohim Tzion Dor Nagi Golecha Lenetzach Netzachim Kedushatcha Daktish V'Shivchacha Eloheinu Mipinu Le'yemos Le'olam Va'ed Yamel Gadol V'Kadoshata Baruch Atah Adonai El HaKadosh. Please be seated. Yismechu b'malchutecha Shomrei 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 Shabbat V'korei Shabbat Yismechu b'malchutecha Shomrei 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 Shabbat V'korei Shabbat Mekadeshei Mekadeshei Shabbat Shabbat Kulam Yisbehu Vidangu Miturecha Shabbat Yismechu b'malchutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat, Korei Onei Shabbat. Yismechu b'malchutecha, Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat, Korei Onei Shabbat. V'iratzita bo v'kidashtaho Shabbat, Chemdat Yamimo Tokarata, Zecher L'maseh V'reishi. And we are going to have, before we chant our concluding prayers, announcements by Jordan.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
That sounded like, and you watch the credits of old movies, and it says like Gowns by Ori Kelly, announcements by Jordan, me and Cher and Hildegard. On Thursday, when is Thursday? Day after Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. is Around the Rabbi's Tish via Zoom. Our board meeting. Oh, that would be the 11th, because our board meeting, normally held on Wednesday, April 3rd, is now being held on Wednesday, April 10th at 7:30 p.m. at Helgas. And again, you can attend in Zoom or in person. But if you are attending in person, notify Helga, because she goes out and gets those pistachios. She goes all the way to Iran under cover of darkness to get pistachios and to bring them back. And if you're not going to eat the pistachios, what's the point of? Yeah. Oh, there it is. Yes. Then the next day is the Around the Rabbi's Tish. And as if one Rabbi's Tish is good, two Rabbi's Tishes are better. So on Thursday, April 18th at 7:30 p.m. is Around and Around the Rabbi's Tish on Zoom. As Mother's Day is next month, now is the time to buy Target $10 gift cards for those mothers in the shelters. Is that an envelope with gift cards?
Who may I give them to after services?
Who here is a member of the Social Action Committee? Why, there's a member of the Social Action Committee.
Okay, thank you.
Let's see, our next Shabbat service will be on Saturday, April 20th at 10:30 a.m. here. And by the way, I know the Rabbi would say, but the next two Zoom, the tissues are going to be in preparation for Pesach. So,
does it include koshery?
It'll be interesting. I was always thinking the best presentation in preparation for Pesach is which tastes better, the matzah or the box it comes in.
Hard to tell.
Anybody have anything else to add? Yes, ladies first. There.
Oh, well, he doesn't know. He doesn't have eyes in the back of his head.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Okay, two things regarding the committee. There is a meeting of the committee, Social Action Committee, Friday, 11 o'clock at Weiler's on Victory. And the other thing is that on the far table, there are some Passover cards. If you have any desire to give any Passover cards to anybody, please take them. That's it.
Dan?
Also, in keeping with the social action and with rabbis talk about the Torah portion in Kashrut, the walk around Lake Balboa is going to be the first Sunday in June, and it's going to be for another organization that does soup, does food distributions. You call it outreach. Anyway, it's there's flyers and the share notes. I guess not for that yet, but there will be some share notes and flyers also. And Rabbi has one of the flyers, which is the letter for selling comments.
The binding contract.
Yeah.
Right. Not only a letter, it's a letter of the law.
Okay, so and have everybody's practicing training for the walk around Lake Balboa. Good. Okay, you could hear that strum of the guitar Obviously, Rabbi is trying to play me off stage. Shabbat shalom.
Thank you, Jordan. So just to clarify, to amplify, so the next two around the rabbi's tishes, the one for this coming Thursday is going to concentrate on the whys and wherefores of Passover, help us to prepare for what is, to be kosher for Passover, and what are some of the rules and laws as to when we purchase, what is appropriate for people who do keep kosher the Pesach. And then the following Thursday, we're going to be concentrating on the Haggadah, going through the Seder, and whether or not you're going to be conducting a Seder or going to a Seder. Hopefully I'll give you enough food for thought that you will be able to elevate your conversation at the Seder. At the same time, you eat the cardboard from the crumbs of the Shmira Matzah. But we'll also talk about what this whole Shmira Matzah thing is all about. It's not enough just to keep kosher the Pesach. You can't own anything that's chametz stick. So we're going to talk about what is chametz, but we're also going to be talking about how you can divest yourself of ownership. So it's not enough just to take whatever chametz you have, your stale bread and your cereals, and stick them in the garage or in the back of a freezer covered by a towel. You can't own it. It can't still be under your possession. So what you have to do is fill this out, which is legally allowing me to represent you to sell your chametz to somebody who's not Jewish, and it will become that person's ownership. And then you just look after it for him. And then at the end of the holiday, because he's not going to be able to come up with more than the down payment for all of the chametz that he intends to buy, and then it reverts back to the original owner. So you want to make sure that if you don't see it in your shir notes that Stan has sent out to you, then just take a copy from this. You can take a picture of it, and then after you this week fill it out and just send me back the picture, and then I'll sell it for you. Stan?
Well, it goes without saying that it's not required, but a number of people make a donation to Congregation Shir Ami when they sell the company.
It's a good idea.
But part of that money not only goes to the congregation, but it also goes to the person who is the non-Jew who will be buying the chametz. The way the deal works is that she, in this case, puts a down payment on what will be $1,000 worth of chametz and liquor and all of that, and she gives me $1, and then when she doesn't come up with the rest of the money, then I will give her a nice return on her investment at the end of the holiday. So part of that donation goes to that person to thank them for being a part of this. So let's join together now on page 24. Ein Keloheinu, Ein Keloheinu, Ein Adonai, Malkeinu, Ein Moshiach, Eloheinu, Michem Malkeinu, Moshiach, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד על שמו ושמו Please be seated, however, that those who are in mourning or observing yahrzeit remain standing as we observe these yahrzeits of the coming 2 weeks. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. Martin Altschiller, Izzy Goldfarb, Lee Gordon, Blanche Karansky, Alfred Simon, Sam Fay, Morris Sirota, Bertha Gottesman, Jaime Sigadel, and Kalman Goldberg. Are there any names that I neglect?
I don't know.
Anybody online, any names I neglected? Mourner's Kaddish is on page 25. Yitgadal v'yitkadash yemei rabah v'yamadi brachi rutei v'yamlich machutei v'chayechonu v'yomeichonu v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael v'agala u'vizman kari v'yimeru amen Yehei shmei rabah v'varach v'yolam v'omer Yitbarach v'yishtabach yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh V'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudesha v'rihu le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran bi'alma v'imiru amen Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imiru amen Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael Amen. Please be seated. And we join together in our final hymn, Adon Olam, page 26. Adon Olam, Asher Ma'ah, Yetzir Tov, Yetzir Nirah, V'chesed Tov, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra V'yachonei V'chadol
Your voice is fabulous. So nice to hear.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you. Shabbat
Shalom.
Shalom.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Good, good.
Shabbat Shalom.
I'll see you soon, sister.
Shabbat Shalom. I'll see you soon.
Okay, bye.
You can look at me now.
Yeah. Oi. Oi.
But you look beautiful.
Oh, beautiful.
Shabbat
I'm
Shalom.
wearing mommy's blouse. I'm wearing mommy's blouse.
Oh,
That's
nice.
it.
Cool.
I'll see you later. Be well. Oh, your nails look good, Sybil.
Yeah. Shabbat shalom.
Okay, Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Thank you.
See you soon. Take care.
Okay. Well, bye.
Enjoy the day.